Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Alice. We talk about books, we do vlogs, lifestyle, a little bit of everything. So if you're looking for someone to stick on in the background while you make yourself a meal, clean your room, or you do that thing you've been putting off for the longest time, then I'm your gal. So consider hitting that subscribe button. Come on in, welcome to the family. It is free, you can unsubscribe at any time. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for your continued support. Let's get on with today's video. So today we're going to be talking about this book here. Hello. When I first read this book, I actually read my friend's copy, but if you watch my 100 subscribers video, I went charity shopping and I found this edition and it's literally perfect condition, and it's like a special one with all these stars on it. The one I read originally didn't have the stars on it, and I'm like, wow, I just really like it, to be honest. I thought, you're coming home with me. So like I said, the last time I read this book was in 2022, and when I bought it, I did have kind of a little flick through, trip down memory lane. I actually remembered how much I enjoyed this book, so I thought we'd talk about it today. Now, this is definitely not a new book, so apologies if you've already read this. Maybe if you have, you can listen to some of the thoughts, see if you think the same. Let me know in the comments down below. Or if you've not read this, then I'll give you a sort of little overview like I normally do with books. Yep, that's what I do here. So this book has a fairly high rating on Goodreads. It has 4.2 stars, which is very high. It has over 1 million ratings. It's a pretty solid book, and definitely one I would say you gotta have a good read of. So my friend actually recommended this to me and lent it to me. Thanks, gal. She's a real one. So she actually lent me her copy and I read it, and I was just like, I was just in it. I just kept reading. I couldn't stop. I was really into it, consumed by it, just kept going, and honestly, I really enjoyed it. I really did enjoy it. So let's talk reviews. So this was actually the second book I read to get out of my reading slump. So I started with Thursday Murder Club, and then it was this book next. In Jan 22, this really helped me get out of my reading slump. I gave this book an 8 out of 10, which is very high. Again, I probably would have to go back and properly read it, check my rating, but I can't see it being any lower than an 8 because I feel like it had a perfect mixture of everything. Now, I would read you the blurb, but honestly, it doesn't really show much. It doesn't really give too much away. It just kind of gives a general overview of the main character, like very brief. It doesn't actually really touch on anything that happens in the book, and I think this is a really good choice because you generally don't know what you're going into when you start reading this, and I just think I really liked it. On with the review. I said 8 out of 10, great plot, very endearing and heartwarming. It did have some lovely messages in the plot. There were some things in there which I would say, please read the trigger warnings before you read this book. I say that for every book, always read the trigger warnings, but there are a few themes explored in here that definitely could be triggering to some readers out there. But there was also some very nice messages in there as well, you know, about loneliness, about opening up to people. I enjoyed it. I did mark this book down to an 8 because I did guess some of the plot points, and I did actually, this was a big overthinking stage in my life, I did actually guess the mega twist, because there is a little twist in this book and it isn't that obvious, I believe, but I did kind of guess it, so I did mark it down, but I don't really feel like I could mark it down too much. I didn't blame the book, I blamed myself, because the book didn't really give it away at all, and when I read the final bit I was like, wow, this is a great reveal, but unfortunately I had guessed it. So that's why I only slightly lowered it, because I don't think it deserved to be lowered that much, just for me being too much of an overthinker, alright? So I did say here it was a bit of a shame because I had that feeling of like, okay, rather than, oh my god, plot twist. I mean, it was, I don't want to like hype it up too much because then it's never enough, but it was a pretty good plot twist, I will give it that. That was a slight shame, but you know, like I said, my fault, not the books. There was a couple of questions I still wanted to know at the end of this book, so that also did mark it down slightly. For me, I feel like if you're not planning on doing a sequel or anything, for the most part, I like to read books that are tied up in some way. At the end, it doesn't have to be a happy ending. It doesn't 100%. It doesn't have to be, you know, all skips in the park and butterflies and that. It doesn't have to be that, but I just need to know what happened to everybody, because otherwise I just think there's only one person in the world that can tell me what happened. Like, I can speculate, I can make things up, but I don't know, they're not my characters. So I did have some more questions at the end, which was slightly sad. So did also take the mark down by another point, which is why we got to 8. I just, yeah, as I said, I just think maybe another chapter or 2 would have tied it up a little bit nicer. Didn't have to go into major detail, but maybe at least a little something, you know, a little mention. But I kind of understand that my questions I had maybe not everyone would have, so again, me problem. Why we people pleasing say, look, it is what it is. You're allowed to have your own opinions on books, alright? So just be respectful of other people's opinions and just go, yeah, let's discuss it, let's talk about it. But all in all, I did absolutely devour this book. I think I read it over a couple of days, but I did the majority of the reading in one day. So I think I did like a little bit, and then I just absolutely was in it and blasted through it on the last day. So it's definitely an addictive read, I will say that. Couldn't put it down, to be honest. It was really, really good. Obviously, it has 0 spice. It's not a spicy book, so if you're looking for a spicy book, this one is not the one for you. And if asked would I recommend this to readers, of course I would. Like I said, it might not be for everyone, and please do check the trigger warnings before you read any book, because we want happy and safe readers out there. I would recommend this book. I would definitely say this is on a recommendation. When I was looking up the Goodreads rating for this book, I came across a little thing that said something about a movie. Now, I haven't heard anything about a movie. This article was back in Jan 2022, which is when I read this book, which is kind of spooky. Something to do with Reese Witherspoon. Yeah, not too sure, but I haven't heard anything on it since. So do you think that means it's happening or it's not? Because I definitely would be interested to see how they would make this a film. I also think it's actually a very lovely book. Also, I don't think this copy has been read, or if it has, they must have kept this so well, because the spine is not bent at all. I didn't even realise that. It's only the cover that's been a little bit. I don't think they've read this. So that's so sad. Someone probably got that for a Christmas present, didn't they? And then they thought, that's not been me. Oh well, more for me. It's on my bookshelf now. I think I literally got it for like, is it like £2.50 maybe? That's probably on the upper end. I think it's around there. I think it was £2.50, right? I don't know. Let's go back to that video and have a little look myself. I'm thinking of doing a little video on random books to read, like random books that you might not know exist but are a really good read. And in my head, I would kind of count this, but since reading the fact that it's sold over 1 million copies and it has over 1 million ratings on Goodreads, I don't think this is a random book. I feel like this is a very well-known book and I just did not know. Yeah, I guess that can't be in that video now. I think the cover is really clever, and I'm glad I have this one. It is one with a person on the front, and that absolutely would not be for me, but I feel like the stars make this a little bit more magical as well. I really, really like this cover. Like, for me, this is at least a 9 out of 10 cover. Could be a 10 out of 10. The only thing I'm not sure I like is this. A bit much. I feel like it could have had a little opening in the middle. But other than that, it's pretty good. So maybe we'll give it a 9.5. What do you think? Let me know. She is the brightest star. Sorry, can't sing too good, or I get copyrighted. Christmas season is coming up, folks. Do we have any Christmas recommendations for books? I do have this one book that I'm going to read in the Christmas month. Look, spoiler, it's called A Winter in New York. I was in New York last winter, and it just makes me want to go back. And it's a love story, so also got this at the charity shop, and again, looks in great condition. This one has been read. It's fine, but still well loved. So yeah, shall read that. But anyone got any other Christmas recommendations? Because I'm not sure what I'm fancying. Alright? So I've almost finished my October reads. Gosh, this is stressful. I'm really hoping I'm going to make it. But it's alright, because the end of October doesn't finish on a weekend. It actually finishes midweek, which means I have a good amount of time left to finish the remaining reading, which I will absolutely do. And I think I'm just going to dedicate one whole day to just like bosh out one of the books, you know. And then in November I've got some very exciting reading plans as well. We've still got a few things left on our non-negotiable list, because otherwise we're suffering the consequence of not being able to buy a book, which honestly I feel like I maybe low-key need, because I have so many books on my shelf. Goodness, I get crazy. What do we think? What do we think. Well, anyway, let me know any recommendations that you have in the comments down below for any time of year, whenever, any book, just let me know, alright? I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you go and read this book, or if you've already read it, let me know what you thought of it in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to give it a big thumbs up, smash that like button, and don't forget to subscribe. Have you subscribed? Thank you very much. And as always, until the next one, I'll see you then. Bye!